matter how much you love your job, I know at some point everybody's fantasized about that moment where you quit your job in the dramatic fashion, kind of like this girl did.
Thinking. So we asked our friend and marketing expert, Olala Jenga, to tell us if there is a right way to quit. So Olala, there are several different types of quitters.
Right.
So let's start with the passive-aggressive. What does that look like?
The passive-aggressive quitter is the person who really, really, really wants to quit, so they tell everybody in the office that they want to quit, except their manager. Oh. So they hope it gets back to the manager, and the manager just calls them in and lets them off the hook and just fires them. But eventually they got to go to the manager's office and just state their case and say, I quit. So
what about the coward? When you say coward quitter, that makes me also think about the guy who is in the relationship and doesn't have the cojones to break up with the girl, so he starts giving her reasons to break up with him.
And okay, so if you were to parlay that into the workforce, this is the person who like writes the letter, what I call like the Dear John letter, and just slips it on the boss's desk at like 7 o'clock at night on a Friday night, knowing that no one's going to see it until 8 a.m. Monday. That's the cowardly quitter. No FaceTime, no reason, no explanation, just a nice little simple, Dear John, I quit.
But if you do that, you can't work out like a full 2 weeks. You're done.
You take that into consideration. You know, just like she did. I don't think she was working out in 2 weeks.
No.
You know,
No. Okay, there's the combative quitter.
Yeah, this is actually my favorite. This is the person who they play the scene over in their mind over and over and over, and so every time they play the scene, they get like more and more animated. So by the time that they actually go in to tell their manager they quit, they're banging on the desk, they're stating their case. I've been working this hard for this long, and it just completely blows up into this like horrible little power case. And usually you get the security escort. Security!
You also had another term, and I have no idea what this is, but the Pollyanna.
Oh, you've seen the Pollyanna. It's the person who quits like this. You know, Mike, I've really had a great time working with you. Can't look them in the eye. They go all around 47 reasons why they want to quit when all they have to say is, I found something else. And so it's a bit of a Pollyanna. They try to make the boss feel really good, and it's not your fault, but really, they just want out.
So would you say all those are not the way to quit?
That's not the way to quit, especially now. You know, unfortunately for the lady who did the little interpretive dance, we don't live in a localized workforce anymore. We are rather global, and so when you quit, you want to leave a little room for the door to stay open. So there is a right way to quit, and you want to give someone valid reasons for why you're leaving. Leave on a high note. Keep the door open, because you never know. The company you're quitting today might be acquired by another company that you're working for later, and your boss may end up being your boss again.
You never know.
You never know.
Well, so I'm just a little confused about one thing. Should you list some grievances at some point? Or, you know, or does
you
that
should
kind of
share some of the things that led to your decision. But you have to remember, it's about perspective. Something that irritates you about your job might not irritate somebody else. And so it really is about perspective. She didn't like working long hours, but maybe that was part of the culture of the company that she worked in. And maybe that's not what she signed up for. You know, people hear what they want to hear on their way in, you know, and hear what they don't want to hear on their way out.
And you can still do that in a respectful way.
Absolutely, you can.
The confident quitter.
Yes, that's the person who does exactly what you and I just talked about. Here's a few things that really didn't click for me. Here's a few ways I think you could improve, but I'd like to stay in touch and keep it light and lively, as I say.
Love that. Thanks, Olala.
Absolutely.